The pain of our past persists to this day. In Kentucky, like many states throughout the South, lynching was a tool of terror. It was used to kill hopes for freedom. It was used to kill my ancestors. Now, in a historic victory for our Commonwealth, I have become the first Black Kentuckian to receive the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate. My opponent, the very person who compared expanded health care to slavery. The person who said he would have opposed the Civil Rights Act. The person who single-handedly blocked an anti-lynching act from being federal law. The choice couldn't be clearer. Do we move forward together, or do we let politicians like Rand Paul forever hold us back and drive us apart? In November, we will choose healing. We will choose Kentucky.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man, Lloyd Spencer. Find all of the latest odds, news, and sports development, including this year's NBA championship, the NHL conference finals, Major League Baseball, and the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures, all at BetOnline. Here's what you got to do. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, to get the bonus and get into action. It's BetOnline. It's BetOnline.ag. It's where the game starts. And all you got to do is tell them the noise.
Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah. Can I make you groove now? Yes, I can. So you can get this groove in a bag of a can. Let you make it round the world when it holds in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. The Popcorn World. What's that saying? Breaking down the rumor and smelling out. Speaking for the people who must go around. Taking truth to power. The whisper and the shout. We're talking noise. Oh yeah. Talking noise. Hey yeah. Say it again. Say we're talking noise. Yeah. Talking noise. Really don't have to fool around. Never noise keeps us lined up. When truth divine. The sound that you hear is the sound of success. We're talking noise. Oh yeah. Talking noise. Yeah. Picking up all the same. We're talking noise. Yeah, yeah. Talking noise. Say it again. We're talking noise. Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. NOIZ, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother NOIZ, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle NOIZ, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
So good to see everybody. hope y'all ready like I'm ready to talk noise. Because I'm ready to talk noise. Hold on a second. I'm ready to talk noise. Should I put some background music there? Let's put some background music there. Hold on one second.
Okay, but your eyes ain't looking like a psychopath.
I gotta look like a psychopath.
She was like,
I didn't mean it like I want to try to look like a psychopath. That
well, your eyes got all wide and stuff. Like, come so I can cut you.
Why you gotta go to the most violent elements? That's not, you know what?
I'm just saying.
Maybe it's the interpretation of the person that is here in front of me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because you ain't have to say psychopath.
It was very scary.
I don't know. Noise makers, y'all let me know if my essence was psychopathic.
Then it was. It's almost like a screen mask was gonna come out.
You just overreacted a little bit. Let me just be transparent with the noise makers. First of all, we cannot tell you what we talked about this weekend because that would be a conflict of interest. When you're counseling someone, you're not allowed to talk about, it's privacy stuff that goes along with providing counseling for people, marriage counseling or whatever, or couples counseling or whatever. But let me just tell you, y'all pray for a white organist and his fiance. They need a lot. See how Mama Noise is laughing? They need a lot of help. They got a lot of issues. As we all do. We all have issues. So I'm not just saying there's something wrong with them or they way out. They just got some issues that they need to work through. And y'all keep them in your prayers and in your thoughts. Anytime you be thinking about something, just be like, oh my God, let me pray for white organists. Because they need it. Woo, man. The paint was coming off our walls. And we was doing this virtually. That's how bad it was. It was bad. Mm-hmm. We can't tell you what we talked about, but it was bad. It was they got some issues. They got some stuff they need to work out. There were some expectations, some promises, if you will. And let's just say there's a disconnect.
Was it broken promises?
See, that's what you kept saying all weekend. I'm saying I don't know if these are broken promises as much as they are not communicated well promises. Like you got to make it clear what we're doing. And I don't think it was clear.
Okay, broken promises.
I don't think it's broken. See, you kept saying that, and that's where we were disagreeing.
Well, but you said promises were made, but if promises
they weren't made, they were implied.
Then that means they weren't kept.
Yeah, I don't think it's that simple. I think there's more to the story than that. But we're going too far. I feel like we're going too far at this point. But white organists, if you hear a little sadness in his playing today, that's why. Because it was a long weekend. It was long. Yesterday was long for them. It was long. It was a long session. We actually went past the time. We was like, we normally wrap up right now. And she's like, no, I got something else to get off my chest. We was like, okay, because we didn't want to smoke.
That was a lot of chest.
You know what? You ain't got to do that. See, you were part of the problem.
What?
You ain't got to talk about that woman's chest.
Then stop putting it on your baby shower.
She didn't wear it. Okay, but she didn't wear it. She was covered up yesterday.
She could have said, you know what? That's not what I want for my baby.
She didn't want that for her. You know what?
And it was like a swimsuit that was like dental floss.
But Mama, let that go. You gotta let that go. That's over. Stop bringing that up.
Well,
stop bringing it up. You part of the problem. I might not let you come to the next session because you part of the problem.
I'm just saying.
Leave that young girl alone. Oh, you know what? Hey, white organist, it's good to see you. Thank you, white organist. Despite Mama Noise's hostility today, her bearing all these grudges, We still gonna have a good time today on Talking Noise.
It's not a grudge.
So grab your church fans, grab your Bibles. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Enjoy ourselves, talk some intense stuff, some fun stuff. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. Hope you're excited too. So there you go. Thank you, White Oaks. Ooh, he just rolled his eyes at you.
Well, he can come through.
Because you keep bringing up stuff that don't matter. He made a mistake. I told you that last week. You don't know. That's not. See, there you go. Now, there you go. You don't know that. You don't know that, Jay Joyner. You don't know what he could be doing fine.
You know why he's referencing that? Because he saw the baby shower invitations.
You know what? Bring it up again. Bring it up again. That's strike two, nigga. That's strike two.
What you gonna do about it?
That's what I'm gonna do about it.
You can't stay that way the whole show.
I could. I ain't no punk. All right. We got a good show scheduled for y'all. Today is in case you missed the Monday. So y'all know we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I want to start by sending my thoughts and prayers to the brat and her spouse. Yeah, I mean that's her wife.
Oh, I would say partner. I ain't going into. I'm not going to dignify.
Listen, the law says, Mama Noise, that they are legally married. So that's what it is. How you feel about their situation, it doesn't matter. Legally, they are wife and wife. And so they went on the Tamron Hall show and had a discussion with Tamron Hall. When is the Tamron Hall show on? And that's not shade. I just don't know.
Yeah, it is.
It's not shade. I don't know. When is it on?
Why it's shade? Because you knew you were going to talk about this and you didn't prepare.
But I didn't. Okay, but it's on different times at different places, so I didn't know. So anyway,
I know, Jay. I told him. See, he didn't listen to me.
I'm not shading anything. I just don't know what time the thing is on. But we'll listen. Let's listen to the conversation from the Tamron Hall show.
Do we have to?
Yes, we have to listen to it. So there you go.
I know, Judy, you have children. Flat out, are you planning a baby? I know, Judy, you have children. You're a grandmom too. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. Are you having a baby? What is going on? Because I know folks were congratulating you online.
Well, it is. Oh, you go ahead, baby. You go ahead.
No, she has the planned answer. You don't. What's the answer, Debrat?
No, I don't have the planned answer.
Well, you're the strategic one in the family.
Answer.
No, we don't. We haven't spoken much about it on social because we have had some ups and some downs on our journey, some complications, but we are still.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
We're still in the process.
Baby,
What?
your voice is shaking. It's okay. I should have answered like she asked in the first place. Okay.
Well, so here's the deal. Full disclosure, I had my first child at 48. I went through multiple rounds of IVF. I never thought I was going to be able to wake up to that little guy that I woke up to this morning.
Oh.
You've said, Judy, you want the brat to experience motherhood or parenthood. Why do you want that for her?
She's never experienced it. She is a very caring person. She is the most nurturing person that I've ever met in my whole entire life. So I just think that would be great. And anything that I'm able to in my capacity in this lifetime, give her, I will. So, and since you've been through IVF, you can just imagine the journey, the complications. I was hospitalized with blood clots. It's just been a lot, but we're not giving up.
Ugh. You were hospitalized. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And
me.
You were too?
Well, see, we don't want to disclose the whole thing.
Yeah, I understand.
So
you don't have to.
Yeah, we want a baby together. So we want it to be, we wanted some of me, we want some of her. So we both had to go through different things to make it happen.
Yeah.
It's just been a journey.
I have been to the doctor more than I ever have in my whole life. My goodness.
And
How
are you
many
still-
pap smears a woman got to get? Damn.
You know, you're so fun. Are you able to-
What does she need to go for?
I have to say we're still trying.
Hold
We are
on.
on our way. We're on our way. So that's what I say.
All right, there it is. So they are struggling, and by the way, that is a struggle that many people know. You know, trying to have a baby, and they're trying to work it out and figure it out, and they know that struggle. Al B's in the building. What up, Al B? I think you muted.
I said, "What's up, my people?"
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a struggle that a lot of people know. Trying to conceive. And I would imagine, and I'm trying to say this tactfully, if you are working with similar parts, the struggle is even greater because you're working with a lot of unknown.
You're depending on science to do it.
Right. You're completely depending on science to work through that circumstance. Now, as you heard, Tamron Hall went through the exact same thing at age 48, trying to have a son and finally cracked the code, the scientific code. Not sure why she chose that route. She didn't mention that and didn't share that in the story, but a lot of couples are going through that. A lot of couples are going the IVF route and trying to figure it out that way. It's not an easy route. It's not an easy route. So
IVF is like shaking the dice. When
it's hard and it's expensive.
It's super expensive, and just because you have, like, I'll just say off top, like 5 eggs, to put 5 eggs in a woman's womb, it doesn't mean you're gonna have 5 babies.
Right.
We saw that with the Octomom back in the day when she kept dropping them over in her having IVF and kept having them dropped over in her uterus like chiclets, you know, so frequently, and they weren't because they have to latch on. It has to hold on to the uterine wall and all of that. And if it doesn't do any of that, then they just die off. They die off. And you have to pay each time. And so and it's a very painful thing, having those injections, because you got to have your hormones on high and all that type of stuff. It's a whole lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Mama knows. Don't lose us in the details, because when you get too deep in there, we get lost. What I want to know is to keep it simple.
We followed it quite well, actually. Hello, cuz.
To keep it simple for the stupid. That's me.
Hi, cuz. It's good to see you too.
Are we taking semen and injecting it into the woman? Is that what that is?
No. What you're doing is injecting it in her eggs, injecting the semen in the egg, and then inserting it into the uterus.
But we are taking sperm and injecting it into an egg.
Yeah.
And then putting it into the woman and hoping that it does what it does.
Yeah, all of the work is being done outside of the uterus.
Yeah.
But
it's not being done.
But it has to attach to her wall.
Right.
Eventually, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If it doesn't do that, then it's just like a woman having a menstrual cycle. It just drops. It dies. The eggs die, and then it comes out as blood. That's
so
what
we have to attach it at a certain time so that it'll be there long enough to attach without dropping out.
I don't know if it's a certain time. Is it connected to ovulation, or is it just?
I would think so.
Well, I don't know if that's true. We'd have to research that. I honestly don't know.
Okay.
But you could be right. You could be 1,000% correct.
Because
that makes sense to me.
Ovulation is all about the eggs coming down the fallopian tubes and entering into.
But that's why I didn't know if that was true, because if it doesn't have to travel, because you're making it travel. The science is making it travel. So what difference does it make if it comes out? You're not going that route through the tube, as I understand it.
No, you're going into the ovum and getting the eggs out, and then you're connecting it with the sperm and putting it back in there.
That's Mama Noah. That's what I'm saying. You're not going the traditional route. You're going a whole different route to make this work, as I understand it. But now, again, I'm flying in the wind here, as to how the connection part works.
Okay. Good stuff.
But it's a difficult process.
Well,
What
you guys?
Okay, so just like I said, it's transferred to the uterus. It's transferred to the uterus. So there's no fallopian tube, none of that. And one full cycle of IVF takes about 3 weeks.
because it wants it, the body has to accept it, just like an organ. If the body doesn't, it rejects it, then it's not going to work.
So you have to start. You have to start right after the period, then,
Right.
or shortly after the menstrual cycle, in order to get those 3 weeks in. Otherwise, it's going to be expensive, right? No,
I don't know.
I agree.
We should have Dr.
agree,
Welch
Jay.
on here.
And furthermore, Anthony Bruce, I would say, don't quote me, but I think that all the thickening and stuff comes from if the body has accepted the eggs for the woman to be impregnated. If the body doesn't accept it, then it rejects it, then there won't be any thickening and all of that.
Right. It's a hard process. I felt their pain in that video. I did.
you say it's a hard process because there are other ways to do this, other than natural. I'm sorry, Mama Knows. Forgive me for my stupid question. You know I'm from Mississippi. Shit, hell. I'll be welcome, brother. You.
I'll be disrupted.
You're standing tall for the vacationers right now. You looking like you dead on vacation right now. But anyway. Are there other ways to do this other than natural sex? You got the in vitro, and what else? What else is there?
Surrogate.
Okay.
I would think surrogate is the only other way.
Okay. Do you have to have sex with the surrogate, or can you just insert her too?
No, same thing. You can insert her too.
Same
So
thing.
now, but that's even more expensive because now you got to pay the surrogate and you got to pay the IVF.
Oh yeah, because see, the IVF is you having, like, for instance, I'm gonna use Lee and Lloyd as an example. If I said, okay, me and Lloyd want to have a baby at this age, so
Wait a minute,
they
Mama
go
Noah.
and reach in and get some of my eggs.
Mama Noah, hold on for a second. Just quick second. I'm sorry. I just want to, because you put that out in the universe. I just want to.
Hell no, can't do that.
I just want to counterbalance it. That's all. I was just trying to counterbalance it. Go ahead.
If we were, then I get some of my eggs and then some of his sperm and put them together, and then put those fertile eggs into my womb. That's in vitro. But a surrogate says you want to take the fertile eggs that was just created and put them over in somebody else and let them get the stretched out body. Let them go through all of the stuff that happens with
Did you
pregnancy.
think we didn't know what surrogate was?
We was just clarifying the difference.
But Ken,
Okay.
in this instance, a surrogate would also be could also be the male donating his services.
Its essence.
He would technically be a surrogate.
No, a surrogate is the carrier, isn't it? The woman.
I think
Not just the carrier, I don't believe.
I thought he was just a contributor.
Yeah, he's just a contributor.
I think either party that's making a contribution to the conception without intent to be the parent would be a surrogate.
You are. It looks like you are correct, sir.
Because a surrogate translate replacement.
So guys that go and put their sperm at the sperm bank, they are considered
They're surrogates?
I don't think so. But
guys that drop that stuff off at the bank?
No, that is
what's the definition of a surrogate?
Maybe.
Al B is correct. That surrogacy is the third party bringing something to the thing. So the man might be bringing the sperm to the woman, like the man could be bringing the sperm to Brat's wife or Brat, and Brat carries it. That's surrogacy. That is a form of surrogacy.
Okay. Now I have heard if a man's sperm is not healthy, then they can get help, get some from the bank or sperm bank or whatever. But I didn't know it was considered surrogacy.
I think it's a form of it. It's not traditional definitional surrogacy.
Because you just said it was, and now you're saying it's not traditional.
So what I'm saying is, men who are single but want to pursue parenthood can choose a surrogate with an egg donor and become a father. That's what we're talking about.
Right. That's a woman carrying the baby.
Right. The woman is still carrying the baby, but the single man can choose to make his donation. I don't know if they call it surrogacy. Maybe it's called something else. But it's the bottom line is the man can make a contribution as Al.
I think the whole point of surrogacy is you are carrying somebody else's baby.
Right. Well, I always reference Kim Kardashian and Kanye because it was her egg and his sperm, but then Becky was over on the sidelines after Kim got so bodacious.
You don't know Becky. You don't know that.
Okay, whoever she is, because Kim got as big as a big old when she was pregnant with that one child. So she was like, ain't happening no more. So then she just said, let me just screen all these surrogates and say from here on out, I ain't touching my body ain't gonna be stretched out to carry no child. And that was the surrogate.
It's called a job, Mama Noise. That's literally a job. They get paid to do that.
Listen, there's a documentary on Hulu that explains the whole. It gives you the whole. I'm talking about. It's such a lucrative business that they pay for all your housing, all your snacks, and anything you want, all your health care and everything. All you got to do is carry their baby, and then I don't even include the money they pay you to do it.
Mama Noise, you never thought about selling your womb like that?
Negative. No, I didn't.
I can answer that for because let me make sure. I'm sure we have a drop for that.
Hell no, can't do that.
There we go.
Everybody got a price.
Nope. My own children, I got stretch marks now. Why would I do it just for somebody to pay me?
Some people do it for the love. They do it for their children.
Some people like to be pregnant. That's true. That is true.
Well, that's Kiki Wyatt. Kiki Wyatt loved to be pregnant.
You ain't got to call names.
You got to call names out like that.
I want you to know who I'm talking about. You know exactly.
You ain't have to call names. That wasn't necessary.
But
we knew you were talking about without the name. We knew.
I didn't say it was a lie. We all knew the name.
That was cold-blooded.
Everybody here knew the name.
But when you rather get paid for the stretch marks than get them for free.
There you go.
Yeah, but then I get paid for them, but they still there.
Cocoa butter.
Nobody said
did you just
after a certain number of stretch marks, it don't matter if you got one or two more.
Yeah.
No, Dad. My life was in jeopardy both times for my children. I ain't gonna put my life in jeopardy for somebody else's child.
Some people love to be pregnant.
Catherine said she's down for the cause.
Yep, some people love it.
I'm not one of them.
I don't think my wife was either.
It is, yes. Catherine, I give you a standing ovation for loving to be pregnant. That is outstanding. This is a not me moment.
So go back to the other two we were talking about there, because that's what a meat and potatoes is right there. We're dealing with the the asparagus right now. Let's go back to the meat and potatoes.
Oh Lord.
Did you say asparagus?
I like asparagus. You guys don't like asparagus?
Oh, I
like
love asparagus. I'm just trying to figure out the reference here.
But I feel like we're really off course at this point.
We were eating the vegetables. We need to go back to the meat and potatoes. You don't eat asparagus, man. Asparagus is.
We love asparagus. Ain't nobody argue with you about asparagus. Let's move on to what your point.
My co-pastor don't like them. My co-pastor say hell to the no.
Well,
You are correct. Hell to no.
To each his own. Let's.
Tired of eating tree limbs and shit. What they tell you?
Tree limbs.
A good thick one that's cooked just right with that sea salt.
I'm good. Can't stand them.
I love them.
None of this has to do with surrogacy. Can we get back to the
okay.
your question?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Cuz, are you gonna? Yeah. Okay. There you go.
I'm waiting on you.
You just said you wanted to get back.
I thought you were gonna make a comment.
Oh, I'm not the damn moderator. You are the.
I've already moderated. I've said what I've said. I said I feel
Okay.
their pain.
Okay, well then let me help you. One of the parts I didn't understand about the interview we just listened to is she up there talking about all the surgery and stuff. I mean, all the medical attention she had to get, and then she's the one. I'm saying, so what was you the one that was trying to get the
No, you didn't hear it right. You jumped down the conclusion.
Okay, well I'm listening.
Can you listen with a little bit less hostility? Jesus, calm down. They both have gone through procedures to try to see who can carry this situation, who can make this work. And they're both getting pap smears and testings and all kinds of things. And I don't know. Now, the one thing I was a little confused with, I know the one young lady said she went and she had blood clots going through the situation. Mm-hmm. And then the brat seemingly said, me too. So I sounded like they both were dealing with blood clot situations. It's just a very difficult process for both of them.
This is not an anti-gay show or statement.
No.
But I really got to go here. I want to understand better because, I'm from Mississippi. I'm slow.
That is true.
God knows I am. There's a purpose for your ovulation. There's a purpose for your periods when you turn whatever, 13, 14, 15. Hopefully it's not too much sooner than that or too much later. There's a purpose. Your whole body is set up for childbirth.
Okay.
Your breasts, your hips, your kitty cat, it's all set up for childbirth. Yet, you feel that it's natural for you to love the same sex, and you can't produce what your body is set up to do. You got to go over there and get some semen from somebody else to inject it into you to get that in which you crying about you can't have. Now, I know plenty of heterosexual people go through infertility, and I know that's a tough situation. But we're talking about people that's matching sperm and egg naturally. You over there licking carpet talking about you want a baby.
You said this wasn't. Remember when you had said earlier that this was not
straight love.
Remember you forgot that you had said it apparently.
It's not. I promise you, it's not. But do we understand how?
Damn.
Do we understand how?
But if it's shaved, it's still considered carpet.
Oh,
man. Do it.
Oh, this is
damn.
I'm not. I promise you, I'm not being anti-gay. You love who you love. That's fine. But the body is set up for us to reproduce with the opposite sex.
But the problem is in this particular circumstance is that while that is true, if you fall in love with someone of the same sex,
you fall in love.
The moment you fall in love with someone of the same sex, now you have a moral dilemma, because while you want the baby, there's only two ways to do this, or three or four, I guess. You can adopt.
Well, I'm confused.
Well, I'm just saying there's about 4 ways. You can adopt if you're in a same-sex situation. You can create a surrogacy situation, which still requires you to find someone, sperm or whatever. You can do IVF and try to find some sperm that will be compatible and work or whatever, or you're going to have to come to an agreement and understanding that you're going to let your wife have sex with somebody. There's only 4 ways to do this, and so that is the dilemma of the same sex circumstance.
Or we can cut the field and say you cannot have children and leave the man out of the situation, or you cannot have.
But we already know that part.
Well, I'm saying for those that don't already know that part, Mr. Noise.
No. But we do. No, Mama Noise, there's not a person on earth that don't know.
There are some people be trying to leave it out and say, well, we two dudes. Wait a minute. We 2 dudes is trying to leave the chick out of it, and we want a baby.
Okay,
but girls want to leave out a dude.
Stop. That's not
why
true.
You ain't giving me? Why you ain't giving? You let
because you're just saying stuff right now, and that ain't true. The 2 dudes are not sitting around thinking that that we can leave a girl out and have a baby.
Are.
No, they're not.
I don't think so.
What they're saying is we trying to honor our commitment the same way that Brad and her wife is trying to honor their commitment and say we want the child, but we don't want one of us to have to go sleep with a guy to go get the child. So
that's the same thing I'm saying. They're trying to leave out the opposite sex.
Okay, but you're not. But the way you're saying it is a little more malicious than the way that I'm saying it. I'm saying that they're trying to honor their relationship, and you saying they can't have no baby without. Well, they know they can't have no baby without.
Well, why you ain't being cuz? Why you ain't tell him when we're talking about this carpet and stuff?
Well, his was funny.
My
your sound mean spirited.
My point may have been a little crude, but my point is legit. You want to reproduce, but yet you're having sex with somebody that can't reproduce with you.
And that is true. You're both correct. But
if you have the desire for a child, how can you not have the desire for a dick?
Very easily. They
clearly
have made the decision.
Yeah. They clearly don't have a desire for it. So,
which is not true. If that was the case, they wouldn't be purchasing one.
No, the need for one.
What? What'd I say?
They are purchasing it. They are purchasing it.
Why are they even available for? What the hell?
What's going on here tonight?
They shouldn't even be. Why is sales going up in the literal sense of the word?
Okay, but you don't know what they're doing in their bedroom. We don't know that.
Why do they have the kind that you need to have a belt to strap on? Why they got that?
Stop. But you're generalizing. You don't know that. You don't know what they're doing in their bedroom. None of us do. So you can tighten your lip. I don't care how you tighten your lips.
Well, I'm just saying. You said that white organist was his baby shower was over to the condom scent store. I'm sure they have all of those type of products over at that store.
First of all, take some of this hostility out your voice, ma'am, because you're doing the most tonight. Okay, just calm your ass down.
You know,
right.
I'm only willing to have this conversation because I'm ignorant. I don't understand it.
And maybe we need to get somebody on here who can explain it to us.
I'm willing to say that honestly and not trying to be, somebody said I said something stupid earlier. Oh, Stefan. Okay. I expect that from him. But I honestly don't understand the desire to hold and kiss and love a baby.
It's no different than adopting a child. The same desire.
I think
but you don't have to have sex with the opposite sex to want to have a child. The desire to have a kid is desire to have a kid. How you get that kid doesn't matter. The desire is for love. The desire is for a child, not the nut that came from the guy with the child.
I understand
you're combining the child with the penis. It's not the same.
Oh This is a rough conversation here.
Child without a penis.
You need the nut for the child, not the penis.
Oh man, come on. This is
That's why there's bait.
That's like trying to.
You milk the cow to get milk. You milk the penis to get the nut. So what's the difference?
You can't mistreat the cow when you want the cow's milk. I mean, you got to
Come on, sir.
They mistreat the cow. They mistreat the cow all the time and still get the milk. They milk the cow every day, and the milk still comes out, and the milk still goes to the store.
I think the challenge. I think the missing issue that we're discussing here is the legitimacy of the desire of parenting and how that should unfold. Does it have to unfold in the same manner or should it unfold in the same manner for homosexual couples as it unfolds for heterosexual couples when components are clearly missing in the unfolding? So are we saying, because I don't.
Well, let me just testify. I would feel like a fool sitting up here talking about I want a child, but I got a man over there in the bedroom waiting on me to come.
Why? Why does your desire for a kid have anything to do with the guy next to you?
You know, when I started having sex relations, I knew there was a chance the young lady could get pregnant. I've always wanted kids. I honestly wanted 4. I only have 1. But I knew that the activities I was doing would lead me to that which I wanted.
Look at that.
Why wouldn't I do the activity that leads me to what? If you really want a kid, I know you can adopt. I know you can do all these other things now because of the advancement of science.
And that's the answer to your question.
What my point is, 2 women were on stage on the show and they were crying because they had motherly instincts, motherly desires, but no desire to have sex with a man.
Right.
I love Mr. NOIZ. I love you, co-pastor, even though I disagree with you 99.9% of the time. But I don't want to sleep with now one of you ninjas. I mean, just because I'm attracted to someone, in their case, now I'm not attracted to you guys, don't misunderstand. Just because I'm attracted to someone, does that mean we have to now? I don't know. I guess I'm talking riddles.
Listen. What you're asking is a question that many people, and we are known for the difficult conversation here. So this is not surprising that we've arrived here. That's really the challenge of what people are feeling societally that we don't talk about. Is it natural? Is it right? Is it fair? Those are the questions that people are asking in these particular cases.
Well, I don't care about the right or wrong hell part.
Some people, but that's what people are asking.
Are they?
They're asking those questions quietly in their circles and in their friends and in their churches. They're saying, should a gay or homeless or lesbian couple be raising kids? Can they properly raise healthy children? And
I see why they couldn't.
The answer is I don't know why they wouldn't be able to. But the challenge, the getting there is what I think we're having a discussion about here tonight. And so it sounds like, and Carlos, you correct me, do you have issue with the route? Like, do you think a homosexual couple should always adopt? Or do you have a problem with them taking the route of having being homosexual but having a heterosexual experience as it relates to birth?
conversation I had with my child, and I tried to keep it simplistic because she's a young girl. But baby, there's a purpose to a man and a woman coming together. You can like and love whoever you say you like and love, whatever that is. But there's a purpose for a man and a woman. Scientifically, there's a purpose for us to be together as couples, to reproduce. So I don't understand the same-sex love, but then you desire what comes from heterosexual activity.
That's no different. That's no different than a vegan saying tofu is the same as beef. You want all the benefits of a meat, but none of the responsibility.
You can lie to yourself. So it's okay to lie to yourself then.
But you know,
I don't understand a woman. I don't understand a woman that would have her other woman to strap on. What the fuck are we doing?
It's two different things. Two different.
oh my gosh.
It's two different things, man. It's just.
You want a rubber one, but you don't want the real.
So are you saying that parent raising or becoming a parent is strictly a heterosexual act? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
I say the reproduction of a kid is a strictly heterosexual act. Yeah,
that is true. The act.
The act.
Okay. So you're saying the homosexuals, I'm sorry, should have to participate in the same reproductive act as everybody else.
No.
In order to get to the.
I'm not trying to force nobody to have sex with somebody they don't want.
Well, that's what you're basically saying, though. I mean, you say
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't understand the desire inside to have something that comes from heterosexual activity, and you're not heterosexual. I don't understand. I can't speak for this because I'm not a homosexual, but I'm assuming that homosexuals don't necessarily want to give up all aspects of heterosexual activity just because they're homosexual. In other words, they're saying, I want kids. Just because I've chosen to have sex with someone of my same sex, that don't mean I don't want the opportunity to have someone that bears my blood and comes from my lineage and whatever. That's what the girl said in the video. She said, we want something that has a little bit of me in it, a little bit of her in it. You know, that's like me. I know this is going to sound stupid. Even as I think about it, I say, well, Jay, that's stupid, but I'm still going to say it. That's like me saying to myself, you know, I really want myself a white baby. I just love the hair. I love the blue eyes or the green eyes. I want a white baby. But I'm out here screwing black women.
But you don't understand the color. You don't understand the color wheel at that point.
You don't get to make what's the word? You get to to pick the eye color and to pick the hair type.
The DNA.
Whatever I'm trying to
the
say.
Genetics.
My point is that which I'm doing has ramifications to it. And if you're having sex with the same sex, other than adoption, I mean, you can do in vitro, whatever you want to do, but.
But again, we're getting hung up on.
Are you really struggling today? Yeah. I've never seen you struggle like this.
I'm confused.
Well, I mean, it's because we hung up on the act of sex to have a kid. Science has come way too far that it's not really about an act anymore. They have the options of having kids without having to do the act. The desire to want a child ain't got shit to do with who you love.
Well, we're going to advance these days where we can have boutique babies. We can just make the baby whatever we want the baby to be.
That's where we're going. That's where we're going.
It's where technology and science is running you to.
And that's not good because
it's like a vending machine. You get to pick out whether you want chips.
Because
you can pick out your whole body now. What's the difference? You can pick your whole body out now if you want to.
What do you mean pick your whole body out? What do you mean?
You get surgery for every damn thing on your body.
Surgery, oh.
But we can't get hung up on the act versus the desire and the need for somebody who wants to have kids. the desire and need for wanting to have kids is totally different than the act of having kids.
Steph, I don't really think I understand your question. And because Stephane's saying we've stated on the show many occasions that children need both parents, male and female, to be complete. That may sound insensitive, but are we now saying a child don't need a mother or a father? Hey
Doc, I'm with you now.
So I guess if maybe I'm misunderstanding a little bit of what you're saying, but
he's just saying what is it? Do we believe that or do we believe that?
So you already know my answer. So
are two women better than one?
Listen, you can try to. Y'all been butchering everything I say. I'm just saying you try
not butchering anything. I just want you to take the tone out of it. Just calm down and say what you're gonna say without all the hostility.
I'm simply saying, you put two women might as well be putting them in a single parent situation because you still gonna if you have a boy. What you gonna? I mean, you can teach him up to a certain point, but a man needs to be involved. You can't just get him to make his contribution and then say, "Well, we don't need him. We got what we needed to get a child, so now we don't need a man at all." And then the boy trying to figure out how do I be a man? What does it? I need to see an example. I need to see somebody stand up and pee. I need to do whatever it is that guys do, but the women ain't got number two vaginas. What are that? After some point, I know as a single mother, because my mother, whatever, after her and my father divorced, but at some point he's going to if you get the privilege of having a son, he is going to need another he to show him how to be a he.
But and you answered the question. He needs a he to show him how to be a he. We never said he had to have a father to show him how to be a he.
But I think we have another problem, Ron, beyond what you just said. Because societally,
what you drinking, Ron?
We're kind of trying to, hey man, I'm talking, man. Be quiet.
Jack Daniels coolest.
Societally, we're eliminating labels.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to ask yourself, is he important to society anymore? And I put he in quotations. Because if it is, then then Mama Noise is 1000% correct. He's a he. If he is now a choice, which is what society is trying to make, he or she is a choice, then now we have a whole then all bets are off, and it doesn't really matter who is parenting this child. That's where I think we are. That's the weird place that we are right now.
Mm.
We have to decide, is there validity still in traditional gender assignment? Because if there is, then it's going to be hard. Then I go back to what Mama Noise said and what Ron said. There needs to be somebody in this child's life that helps this child define definitively who their gender is. But if we're eliminating all of that, and it does, and the kid can choose at some point whatever they want, then that's where we are society, and then everything you guys just said doesn't matter.
Well, I think Eric Tellis in the chat has an excellent point.
And honestly, I don't know if that's true. You're saying it's excellent, but I don't know if it's.
I think it influences.
I mean, we can't say that because there's a ton of single families, and we still have a lot of homosexuality.
Right. I mean,
so we can't.
A lot of factors influence it.
But it just seems like there's no. You said.
And there's kids today with a mother and a father, and the kid's still a homosexual. So
right. I can't
co-sign 100. I can't co-sign 100% on that.
I do not believe that it causes them to be sexually oriented one way or the other, but I do believe it causes confusion.
And that may be true. I can't argue against that. I don't know the challenge of all of this is what influences the choice, and at what point is the choice influenced?
Right.
Is it influenced in childhood? Is it influenced in puberty? Is it what and where and how does it all unfold? Some would argue to death that it's a birth thing. You know upon coming out of the womb exactly what your attraction is. I personally don't believe that, but that's what some would argue. So the challenge of what we're talking about here is that how is it all defined? How does it all unfold? And it's interesting. This conversation is incredibly interesting to me because I think in some ways a lot of this influences other things. So that's why I talked that Tuesday question is, do we need to fix broken families and cities, or do we need to fix broken systems? And I'm not saying, let me start by saying, I'm not saying homosexuality is necessarily a broken system, although it could be. It could be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a hard question. When you say system, well, whew.
That's why it's an interesting question, because something is shifting families in the Black community. Something. It could be as simple as what Cuz says, as just the absentee fathers. If them niggas would just go home and raise their kids, all would be well. That may or may, I don't know.
Could be resources, the lack of resources.
It could be that, and that's what I think we could. But I'll say this: on that stage were two Black women who were struggling with an issue with their family. How did they arrive at that place? Is it as simple as they're older women, they got this issue and it is unfolded before their very eyes? Or is this a culmination or a climax of years of an issue that has now unfolded and reached a pinnacle to this place where they're now seeing the results of choices, life choices, societal choices, their own family choices, historical family choices? Is that what this is? So that's why I think it's an interesting conversation, because if anything interrupts either of their lives, because the young lady that she's married to, the brat, she has children. So that implies that at some point in her life,
there was a man somewhere.
There was a man, and she was.
Wait, we can't say it was a man, because according to my co-pastor, all you need is semen.
Oh,
she could have went to the bank and got it.
She could have, but that's not the implication of the story.
Yeah, I don't think her bank account had her at that type of bank before she met this chick.
Mama knows that bank ain't that high. You can buy a pair of titties for $10,000. You can get inseminated for about the same amount of money.
Well, I'm just saying it doesn't. To my understanding of their journey, that is not how she did it. She did it the old-fashioned way.
Old-fashioned.
She was heterosexual.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, she has chosen to this lifestyle.
Right.
Where she was like, if I go ahead and choose this, then I could be on the come up.
Or
now don't see that's why I be stopping you, because you be saying like that.
She may say that lifestyle that I was in before was never me, that this was who I was the whole time.
Right.
Or it could be that lifestyle I was in caused me much pain, and I want to try something else that could be less painful.
And the reality is, those two women that were sitting on that stage have gone through a lot of pain because of their lifestyle.
Or they went through a lot of pain that led them to their lifestyle.
It is a struggle to be gay in the world. In a society that tells you everything is heterosexual. It's a struggle. You guys, I'm sure, have had friends that struggled in high school, or
absolutely
struggled in college, or struggled in church, or hell, they're struggling at work. They don't want to be that in which they find themselves being. So Then you turn around and you bring two struggling people together to raise a kid.
But the challenge that I'm having is, what was the struggle? Was the struggle the choice of being a homosexual, or was the struggle the events of a heterosexual lifestyle gone awry that caused a different choice? Because that's one of the parts of this that never gets talked about. Some people, I'll concede something that I've never conceded before.
Uh-oh, don't come out the closet on here. Please don't.
What are you talking about? Hold on.
Man, drink your brew.
I got a drop for you tonight as well. Let me give you that drop as we so desperately need.
Are you done? Are you done?
I keeps a drop for niggas like you. All right. I actually could have went shorter and just did it. I probably should have did that one. That'd
been a little bit easier.
That's probably more appropriate. Okay.
Or you should have did the Tommy and deaded the whole thing. I'm just.
Ooh, real? Yeah, I see you so hostile. Why are you so hostile tonight?
What did you watch? What did you watch? Did you not have a drink today?
She did not, and it's clear. It is very clear. The challenge.
I don't need none, Kyrie.
The challenge again, I think, is also the thing that doesn't get talked about enough is there are many people in this world that arrive at this lifestyle. They did not start this lifestyle. It wasn't even something in the back of their mind. They have chosen this lifestyle because of a set of circumstances or events that unfold in their lives. And then they say, you know what? I'm open to something else, trying something else. I've tried this. It didn't work. In fact, it was a horrible disaster. I am now open to try something else.
And I also believe that there are many people in society that knew they were gay from the very beginning.
No one's questioning that, cuz.
Okay, well, goddamn, I'll let you finish yours. And they chose to suppress that feeling in order to fit in.
Yep.
In order to not be ostracized or cast out.
That can be true as well.
Whether it was a church environment or a family environment, they chose to be normal because everything else was considered abnormal or sin. So they
but even in that,
they go through the first part of their lives living a lie.
But even in that suppression, is it suppression because of a birth situation, or again an influence of lifestyle choices of their own or others that cause them to be a certain way? Like, I don't know if it's as simple. My point of bringing what I brought up, and you just wanted to do the counter because that's just how your ass is. But my point of bringing it all up was, I don't think the unfolding of it all is as simplistic as we've made it out to be societally. And because it's not as simplistic, then all of it is not as simplistic. How it unfolds, where it goes from there, how parenting now unfolds, none of it's just not a simple thing. So you're right, the path of homosexuality is not an easy path.
Listen, I know that my part was, Lloyd got to say what he was going to say, and Cuz got to say what he was going to say. So therefore, what I was going to say is I knew some girls that were, why everybody want to go to this screen?
I'm not going to the screen. I'm listening to you, boo. Go ahead.
Contrary to belief, there are some women that get in some situations and circumstances, and then the person who holds the money bag is the person who wants to have the alternative lifestyle. And they're saying, man, either I'm going to be on the street or the kids can't get fed or something. So I'm willing to compromise if it means that the kids get to eat or my lifestyle gets a little better. I had a person that I know that was like, man, this girl really wants to buy me all this stuff. She's trying to buy all this stuff for me. And then I told her, I said straight up, listen to me. I'm telling you, it's no different than some more pimp in the street. If somebody's trying to buy you stuff, what I say? I'm simply saying, if somebody's buying you stuff, you're going, man, okay, you don't even, why are you giving me all these gifts? Because they want something from you. And the person ain't willing to just come on out the closet. So they like, look, let me lead you to the closet with all these expensive gifts.
Well,
that's why I said sometimes it's the come up where you saying, man.
But I'm nervous about your predatory theory because I don't know if it's all. It's okay.
The come up works both ways.
I was gonna say there are predators everywhere. That's what a sugar daddy is. That's what a sugar mama is. It can all be predatory, but I don't want to say all homosexual.
I didn't say all. I said I knew a certain person, and there were certain people in certain circumstances that they compromised their belief because they was like, look, if it means that old girl gonna help me get up out of this, or help my situation get better than where it is.
But I don't want to.
It ain't the pimp's fault. It's the girl who changed her mind to do it.
Oh God, with the pimping, I just.
You call him a pimp early, but it ain't her fault. She wants to buy that person, and that person made a conscious decision to change their morality in order to do what they thought was right for them at that point.
I don't disagree that there could be circumstances that align to what you're saying, Mama Noise. In fact, we know of circumstances that are that because see, here's the other part that we again we don't talk about enough. This is not the show we playing, by the way. I got other topics
at all.
In case you missed the Monday, but this was a part of it. But this was a part of it for sure because we wanted to address it. But I did. But there's another part of this that we have not discussed a lot. We don't discuss a lot. There are the routes to this place called "quote unquote" homosexuality are plentiful, just like the routes of heterosexual activity are plentiful. But what we've done societally is we've tried to make it the heterosexual routes as simplistic as some of the homosexual routes as simplistic as some of the heterosexual routes, and that's not true. It can't be true because we are complex beings that are the sum total of our experiences. And because we are the sum total of those experiences, we're not always arriving at the same conclusions the same way.
So you're saying because we don't understand it, we made it simple.
Not only that we don't understand it, but because we're afraid. Excuse me, we're afraid to have these kind of conversations because everybody's so easily offended now. And you're trying to shame us. No, we're trying to understand. One of the things I love about what Cuz says, I'm from Mississippi. And while he says that jokingly, but there's a truth to that. There may have been homosexual people in Mississippi and in Arkansas and in Kentucky and in Texas and whatever, but we were raised in a certain way, in a Bible Belt kind of way, and they made them folk be quiet and not talk about it and stay in the closet and lock the door and throw away the key. And unless they were directing the choir, then they could come out. But
nope.
What? Don't act like I'm lying.
He didn't lie. He didn't lie.
There's no lies told. But my point is, because we've never had real conversations about any of it, we're forced to I'm forced to have to try to fight through historical ideologies to understand someone's life choices.
I guess the question becomes, does society want you to have those conversations?
They don't. Listen, you want to take up a big offering in the church, start talking about how homosexuals are trying to destroy our kids. One of the biggest offers of the week.
Wow.
That's the truth. It's the truth. But the reality is, man, I remember my pastor in his last stand-up that he did. He said, was it the last one or the next to the last one? Maybe it was the last one. But he said one of the most powerful statements he made, he said the young lady that was transgender, that he was kind of mentoring as a comedian, he remembered her yelling out to him, "I'm trying to have a human experience." He said, "I don't need you to understand me. I just need you to understand that I'm trying to have a human experience and understand it."
Oh.
And that's what I think a lot of our lack of ability to empathize and to understand and to discuss is the catalyst by which the confusion lies. We won't sit down and have a conversation. So we're forced to draw our own conclusions, and some of those conclusions are infinitely wrong.
Like I said, I think people are just scared to hear what the truth is.
Well, but see, that's the problem, Ron. It's us saying it's truth when it may not be truth. It may be their truth.
Well, hearing from a person that's in that lifestyle, letting them tell their truth and letting people hear it, understand it, and learn from it. I think people don't want that truth. I think people are scared of that truth.
Well, and it's even, I'll even go a step further than that. We think that by hearing the truth, we then are forced to accept that as being absolute truth. And it's okay for me to hear what you said and maybe not agree with what I heard, but still respect you. Watch this. Here it comes. Y'all ready for this one? Uh-oh, it's about to get tight. Still respect you and love you anyway.
Right.
Well,
that's the challenge.
My whole thing on homosexuality, I don't have a belief or a truth to it at all. I just don't understand it. I don't understand what to say that you can love anybody, that you have the right to love anybody. I understand where that comes from, because in this country there was a time where blacks and whites were not able to get married, and there were black and white couples that loved each other, and it was outlawed. They would have been killed. So I understand the right to love who you want to love. But I also believe that we as human beings can warp certain things. We can twist shit to a point to where we're trying to get it a round hole to fit into a square peg, simply because we believe we are right. So it's gotten to the point where now heterosexuals are fearful to even have this discussion that we're having on this podcast, for fear of being called something, or in the words of Mr. Noise, his pastor, his spiritual leader, you're scared to talk about how you feel and what you think, because people are going to counsel you. And I'm not scared to talk, because I really don't have an opinion on who you love, but I do know scientifically it don't make sense. Not if you're trying to reproduce. That was my whole angle, my whole point.
Scientifically for reproduction, okay. But I thought you were going to say scientific for who you love. Like,
no. Okay. You love
right, there's no science tied to that.
Yeah. Huh?
There's no science tied to who you love. Right.
No science at all. No.
Well, if that's the case, there's a science to people falling in love with animals and having sex with animals.
I agree, Mama. It can go that far.
Why do we have in the class where we had human sexuality? There's all kind of sexualities. Sex with dead people, sex with feet, sex with animals.
Yeah, I'm telling you, she's so hostile. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something, Mama Noise. Since we having an honest conversation, let's have an honest conversation. One of the things that you got to get to a place of is finding your ability to be compassionate toward those who vehemently disagree with you.
I am compassionate.
Is that why you shaking your head and rolling your neck and yelling at the screen?
That's right.
That's not compassion.
That's compassion.
That's not compassion. Maybe that's not compassion.
Compassion is up to the individual.
It's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. And you know how I know that? Because if I came at you the same way that you come at people right now, you would tell me, why are you yelling at me? Why are you being hostile? And I understand why, because you are people. You are the people that don't understand. And we fear what we don't understand.
Okay.
I agree.
So that's why we get hostile, because we say, I'm being challenged at the core of my beliefs and I'm wildly uncomfortable. I get it.
You're right. I need to have compassion with pedophiles. I need to have compassion with people that want to have sex with animals and people that want to have sex with pigs.
Stop it. Again, you're doing it wrong. That's not life. That's not reality. That's not humanity. Nobody's saying you got to. First of all, pedophilia is a crime. We're not talking about crime.
No, but they saying it's love.
But no, that's a crime. That is a 100% crime.
That's okay. So nobody's giving a criminal a pass, Mama Noise. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying, we're not trying to normalize criminal behavior. What we're trying to do is understand the sexual choices of humanity. People are making sexual choices that we may not agree with, and that's and guess what? I want to understand. To be honest with you, full disclosure to everybody, I am deeply fascinated with people's sexual choices because I don't understand. I want to understand. I want to know why people choose certain things that they choose. And it ain't just got nothing to do with homosexuality. It's the whole spectrum.
Listen, Mama Noise, and don't you get offended, Mama Noise. It's me and you talking. Mama Noise is wrong in what she's saying in comparing pedophilia to homosexuality.
Completely wrong.
But she's not that far off. Because at a different time in this country's history, grown-ass men were fucking little girls.
That's true.
And it was totally allowed.
And it's wrong, right.
Oh, stop. Don't say it was wrong. Because my 24-year-old granddaddy married his 24-year-old bride, my grandmama, and they had 16 kids together. 24 and 14. He was 24, she was 14. He was born in 1890, she was born in 1900. That was normal back in those days.
Right.
For girls to marry grown-ass men.
Right. Societally today, that would be pedophilia.
But you see, back then it wasn't pedophilia.
Right.
So if he married her at 14, at what year, he was 24, at what year did he start liking that 14-year-old girl? Was she 12? But damn, he was a grown-ass man. So though she's wrong now to point that out, we have evolved, or we're cyclical. I don't know if it's cyclical or not, but we do change as to what's normal. So what's normal today is homosexuality. It could eventually be bestiality. It could eventually be grown men having sex with little girls again. I hope not, but I'm saying we have done it before.
But my point is, and the wrong for me is not what you said. The wrong for me is the approach we're using. Because societally, if we keep attacking the problem, we're never going to understand the problem. You can't attack somebody and tell them that you can't attack them and understand them at the same time.
You can't attack their situation. I wouldn't call it a problem. You can't attack their situation and expect you're going to fix it when you're attacking them.
Well, listen, it could be a problem. You could be a problem. Because I do think what Cuz and what Mama Noise are alluding to, bestiality,
necrophilia.
What?
Necrophilia.
Necro.
Yeah, right. All of that is to me. But see, the problem is we gotta have these discussions.
Dead people.
Hold on, Mama Noise. But what I'm saying about it is, in order for us to get to some solutions, we have to have some balanced conversation, and then decide societally what is right and what is not.
And the thing about pedophilia, we've been there. We know this. We know what that is. We understand that justification. We know it's wrong. So I can't put those two in the same, because we went past that 1800s to now. We know that is 100% wrong. Everybody knows that's 100% wrong.
Can I say something that's going to be wildly unpopular and probably kill the bad boy deal for us? There's an oddity and dare I even say this is a tough statement to make, boy, but y'all gonna understand where I'm coming from.
Mm.
There's an oddity and a weirdness and a uncomfortableness in the age difference of a Diddy and a Young Miami, 52, 20, 28.
Mm-hmm.
Cause and the reason why we all go is because though she technically is legal, it does not feel right. That's what we're talking about. But that's my point, Mama Noise. I'm not going to accuse that man of pedophilia because technically he's not a pedophile, even though the shit is weird as hell.
But see, like the other day you was watching 100 Time 100. Yeah. And old girl stood up and said she's queer or something like that.
Right.
And then she said, I need to stand up for, and she started saying LMNOPQRST element. I was like, what? Some other letters have been added?
Mama,
Some other letters have been added. And I'm simply saying, because those letters get further and further away from the first four, it's just like, oh, okay, well then pedophilia will be added in. Then it'll be marrying children. And then it'll be having sex with a dad, having sex with sheep, having sex with, and it's like human sexuality is getting out of control. And that's what I'm saying, it's all being lumped in together.
But stop right there, angry black woman. That is where you should rest your conversation. We need to clarify human sexuality and the choices within human sexuality. And we need to clearly define societally what is acceptable and what is not. What are we? Because right now, the cultural definitions and boundaries are abound. And therein lies the problem because there doesn't appear to be an end in sight. I'm not saying, listen, the approach of hostility and anger makes no one hear anyone. That's not, and we can't get anywhere that way. If there is a flaw in my pastor's approach, is that I don't know if he can be heard because the way he said it seems hostile, even though I know it's not hostile, and the church, our church knows it's not hostile. The other side feels that it is.
Yeah, but sometimes people go to churches and they know the pastor a hoe, but they still go to church. So y'all could be going to church. Y'all could be going to church knowing he ate up from the flow up, but y'all still go because y'all like the way he delivers the message.
And that can very well be true.
Facts.
That could very well be true. But my thing is, we got to decide that we got to get to a place where we can have a real conversation, and we're not there because of like what you said last night. We want, because see, I have very definitive theories that I have witnessed, that I have counseled, and I have seen up close. And I'm saying, I know what you want me to accept. It's difficult to accept that when when it's not a one size fits all.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Why are you trying to force me into an ideology that is not 1,000% true? If it was 1,000% true that everybody was born that way, then we would all have to accept it, and that's just how it is. And matter of fact, I don't know if we would even argue with it societally. We'd be like, well, that's how she was born, or that's how he was born. But the truth of the matter is that that's not true.
But why does the percentage matter?
Say it again.
Why does the percentage matter in your opinion?
Because the generalization matters. We can't generalize everybody and put everybody in the same category if it's not true all the way across the board. Either it's a truth or it's not.
But that's none of your business as to why they're gay. Whether it was birth, whether they were molested, whether they made a choice. That's none of our business.
But that's not how it's being presented societally. It's being presented societally as accept why how I got here. Whatever I tell you, Even if what I tell you is not even the truth. I'm here.
But that's like me saying, accept me because I'm heterosexual, and the reason why I'm heterosexual, it doesn't matter why I'm heterosexual. I'm heterosexual. I know.
Okay, but then if that's the case, because then why are we having a world conversation about sexuality if my sexual choice doesn't matter? I chose what I chose, so then there's no reason to talk about it at all.
It's actually a United States conversation. Most of Europe have gotten over it.
But my point is, if sexuality is a personal choice, then why do we need to discuss it openly? It's my choice. I chose what I chose. I'm doing who I'm doing. I married who I married. What difference does it make? Why should it matter to you? But that's not. But the reason why it matters to us is because we made it matter. We've all made it matter. The church made it matter because they're saying Eve is disgusting. The alphabet group made it matter because they're saying y'all not accepting us for who we are. We made it matter.
We made it matter because they call it a sin.
We made it right.
That's 100%.
If you've never called it a sin, technically, I don't give a damn what your sexuality is. Could care less. Do what you want to do. Do you do? Society made it a sin, and because of that, that's why you have to know why. If they never made it a sin,
that's the only reason why.
Well, not only society. Going back to what Cuz said, science also said, "What are you doing?"
No, I agree with that part.
That's what I'm saying. So it's twofold. It's not just society. You're right. You're both right. And so that's why we're here, because we've not talked about what it is.
Well, science made the reproduction part matter.
But that part matters, though.
That's what I'm saying. It is. Science made the reproduction part of it matter, but science does not explain why you choose who you choose.
Because they can't. That's the point. We're trying to figure it all out, and we're trying to make it make sense, and we don't want to have real discussions about the possibilities. What are the possibilities as to why this thing has become this thing? And because we don't want to do that, this is where we are. Now we're in a ball of confusion.
Every man, I believe, oh Jesus, while we have this conversation, every man, I believe, has a desire to put his meat in a hole.
Oh my God.
So you just answered your question again before you even asked.
We can't even talk.
Every man has a desire to.
But you just answered your question. Every man has desire to put a pole in a hole, and you just answered the question.
Every man has a desire to put his meat in a hole. The problem is when he tries to put his meat in the booty hole.
Oh my goodness.
There has to be we're trying to have a conversation.
You're having a conversation. You are having a conversation. We are having a human experience right now.
There has to be some adjustments to that. You just can't put your meat up in the booty hole any old kind of way. The vagina is meant to receive. The booty hole ain't meant to receive. Whether you're going up on a woman's booty hole or a man's booty hole, it ain't supposed to receive. It's supposed to let go of.
Scientifically,
it's a giver. Scientifically, the booty hole's a giver.
It ain't supposed to be no backtrap. It ain't supposed to be going back up in there.
I've never heard anybody say that the booty hole was a giver.
It's a giver. It's a giver.
It gives shit away. It gives shit away, literally.
I think we have hit our first spiritual moment of the night.
Oh my God!
So if I'm having sex with a man and I'm doing that act, is that natural or is that unnatural? Now I know folks don't like to have this conversation right here, but I'm asking because I know scientifically the booty hole ain't supposed to receive nothing like that.
But if you say a man desires to put a pole in a hole, technically there's several holes on your body.
Oh man. Whew, Jesus. If you ask me, Lloyd Spence, I would say that is an unnatural use of the body, scientifically.
I don't see how you can look beyond that. I don't see how you can.
Now, if you would ask me, Lloyd Spence, believer, I would still say it's an unnatural use of the body.
So then what about oral? Is that an unnatural use of the body?
Well,
you about to go somewhere.
Just hold on there, buddy.
You gotta stop.
Before you answer that, you say that it's not natural, but yet there are men that what me and my friends used to call it push a woman's peanut butter.
Wait, happening?
Why is it? Wouldn't it be chocolate?
Depends.
Depends on if she had milk or not.
Oh, okay.
So I'm saying we're saying that it's I totally agree. It is supposed to be for exit only.
Yes, ma'am.
But for the men that be saying, you know what, I always wonder where does the word doggy style and all that other stuff come from? Because men do want it and hit it from the back. It's not necessarily vaginally, but then they want push peanut butter.
Oh Lord.
Zara, you gotta have a lot to talk to your mom about after this.
Yeah,
show.
you got lots.
Okay, so
also they may not want kids either, though.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. It'll catch you in a minute.
I don't want to catch it, Ron. This is okay.
Don't be where you at, cuz Mr. What's go ahead.
So here's the irony of he wouldn't got him another drink. Here's the irony of the oral statement that Ron made.
You ain't got a second bottle.
I'm about to go get me another one too.
Right.
It's getting good.
Scientifically, there is no reason
inside of the
for oral anything, right? However, the Bible cosigns oral.
What the?
It does.
It does.
I thought for some women, oral semen settles the stomach.
I ain't never heard that.
That is
settles the stomach.
That's because most women don't swallow.
A lot of
okay.
But because that book cosigns the Lord, is that why everybody's okay with it?
It is. That is correct. I believe that is correct.
Jay, I hope that works both ways. Does it settle the man's stomach as well?
To do what?
What?
I don't swallow semen. What you talking about?
Women have an excretion as well.
Oh,
it gives me ass, Mama Noise.
Nope.
Oh my goodness. This is heavy.
I do believe it.
Heavy conversation.
That's what you're asking me. I do believe in oral stimulation.
Song of Solomon, John. Song of Solomon. That's not a loose interpretation. That is a very literal interpretation.
You said there's no cosign in the Bible.
I mean,
I think some women need a little mouth action in order to get to their peak, to get ready.
Well, I thought I seen that over in Songs of Solomon.
They have a hard time getting kickstarted without it.
They told me about that verse. I'd have stayed in church.
Not too many sermons from the Songs of Solomon.
Yeah, I've never heard one. Mm-hmm. I have never heard one. Not one.
Mm-hmm. Only hear about that in Bible study, the marriage class. Ain't no other ministry in the church that even speaks on Songs of Solomon.
So are we all agreeing that the booty hole action is not a natural action?
I think what we're trying to get to is this.
You can't be scared to say it, man. Just say it.
No. I'm going a whole different route. I'm saying these are the conversations that we just are afraid to have,
right?
And that's why we are where we are, because we shouldn't be in our late 40s and early 50s,
right?
Finally having this discussion. That's ridiculous.
Listen, I know Mr. Noise gonna say I'm just gonna say it. Mr. Noise, every time I bring it up, he be saying, "Why are you always saying?" I'm just simply saying, when we taught a marriage class, there were questions like these in in the they put the questions on it and put it in a little bucket. Those were questions that I'm sure they never had the answer to, but just made up in their mind that, well, I'm in the church now, and the church I always heard good girls don't and stuff because, you know, they Christian women and all this type of stuff. So then you got all these marriages that are suppressed and stressed because they just won't go ahead and have the conversation. You want to add, look, just go ahead and ask the pastor.
But that goes with what we were talking about earlier. We have created societal barriers for these conversations. And because of that, now we have societal issues. We have systematic issues. This is not a small problem. This is a really big problem because it's a problem that is affecting families, that is affecting self-esteem, that is affecting life choices. It's affecting whether or not a person lives or dies. There are people that are suicidal in these things. This is not a small thing. This is a real thing. And because we won't have these discussions early in the development of our life, I'm not saying you got to have it when the child is 12 or 5 or 7. That's not what I'm saying. But right around that high school age, somebody should have pulled us into a room and said, let's have a conversation.
They did. They didn't have that conversation.
The one they had, well, then dare I say, Ron, they didn't. Because if you're not going to talk to that janky conversation. I remember that janky conversation. It was actually in the 8th grade, and they separated the men from the girls, and we sat in the room, and they showed us that old 1951 video. We're like, what is this? And so we walked away not really understanding anything.
And it don't mean us.
And there was such a disconnect of relevancy to what we were actually dealing with societally that we missed the entire lesson, and we were forced to try to figure it out on our own, which is what we're still doing today.
And dare I say, the people that was teaching it, they didn't want to talk about it either. So they was like, the film was just a film.
I got news for you. Some of the people that were teaching it had already made their own choices. Some of them PE teachers was as gay as the day is long.
Hell, your whole sex ed teacher was gay. In our school, the whole time we was there.
Well, I kind of liked the film itself. I had no problem with it. It made me horny.
Everything made you horny.
I was going to say, so truth be told.
The wind blowing. The wind blowing.
What video did you see?
The sun shining made you horny. I don't think there was much that didn't affect your level of horny.
And furthermore, I agree with Lloyd that people, most of the time, our parents and those that was leading us, most of the time, all they said was, and all I remember was, don't bring no babies up in this house. That was it. Don't bring no babies up in this house. That's the rule. It wasn't no, don't be out there having sex because of the following things.
Mama Noise, I don't even want to blame my mama no more for that conversation because the reality of it was this. She was probably working on limited information herself.
And the only thing you got to think, you was only taught heterosexuality your entire lifetime. When you was in school, you went through sex ed. It taught men and women. It talked about man and woman reproduction. That's all it ever talked about. You didn't talk about anything else in that entire class. And
to be honest with you, Ron, I don't know if I needed to have the conversation about other choices beyond heterosexual. I don't know if I needed that, but what I did need
the class was 100% she was gay. The lady who gave us the class. And she was very uncomfortable giving that class.
Yeah.
And now you're like, yeah, I remember that. She was wildly uncomfortable giving that class.
That's true.
So she had to hide everything that she felt to give a class to people for something that she didn't even agree with.
But I don't know. But see, but there lies the problem. Because the truth of the matter is, there are two issues here in the conversation. One is, are we having a reproduction conversation? And the other is, are we having a sexuality conversation? The reproduction conversation, I thought they did a fair job with. They told us how babies were created. This is how it happens. That was undeniable and irrefutable. But the sexuality conversation never took place. And maybe it wasn't supposed to. Maybe that's a family thing.
Well,
so I don't know. This is like, again, this is not the show we designed, but it's damn sure the show we should have had. It was really, I appreciate this conversation. And we will in some way maybe dive into it a little bit more tomorrow. And that's the challenge. See, Stephon is saying kind of what I'm saying. If it's a personal choice, I don't necessarily have to have that discussion in a room full of people.
And again, but if it's a personal choice, we don't need the conversation.
But we don't know if it's a personal choice.
No,
we don't know. We believe.
I know what I believe.
We believe.
Right.
We don't know.
I saw it as a personal choice. So
I could try all day to explain why I'm heterosexual, but I really can't.
You can explain what you like and what you prefer,
but I can't explain why I like it and I prefer it. Why was those little basketball booties doing it for me like that? Why was those little button breasts doing it for me like that? Why?
You get that little tingling sensation and you got blood rolling. They may not get that tingling sensation and blood rolling.
Exactly. But why? Exactly.
But here's the problem with what you're saying. Here's the problem with what you're saying. Both of you. We don't know if they're getting that tingling sensation.
You don't.
We really don't know.
But the bottom line is, listen, Mr. Noah. Let me say this real quick, and I will agree with you afterwards. But listen, there are men out here in these streets that could see the finest as black woman, booty, breasts, looking gooder than good enough to eat. He's not been more interested in her than the day is long. How does a man not find a woman's body attractive?
But see, that's just it. That's
your wife. I ain't talking about your wife.
No, stop. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Here's what listen to what I'm saying. I don't disagree with what you're saying, except for this one point. We don't know. We don't know if he is.
The reality is, I almost said that F word. Gay people don't generally find the opposite sex sexually stimulating to them. It doesn't attract them. But for most of us, it does.
Let me go crass to make my point. You don't know that. You don't know if his penis got hard over that girl or not. You don't know. And hold on.
The reason why
we don't know.
The reason why we can't have this conversation is because you can always say you don't know about every damn thing. But we do know that there are gay men that do not find women attractive.
They say they don't. Just like
they say you don't, man. That's a fact.
Yeah, and I agree. You're gonna find ones who don't. So again, is that biological?
He may find her cute, but he doesn't find her body sexually stimulating.
Again,
for a straight man, we could never understand that.
But you gotta ask the question: is it biological?
Thank you, Ron. But that's what I'm trying to explain to you. You don't know that. Scientifically, his body may be reacting, but he may mentally and emotionally be suppressing all of those scientific urges. We don't know. Because so if you're hold on. Because listen, I'm going to spell your theory with this one thought. Tell me why your penis gets hard when you see a woman.
I can tell you my dick don't get hard when I see a man. I can tell you
that's not what I asked you.
I tell you that.
That ain't what I asked you. Tell me why it gets hard when you see a woman.
Is it mental?
No.
That's my point. That something in you emotionally or mentally or scientifically reacts to the visual of that situation. So if that's true for you, hold on. If that's true for you, why would it not be true for other men?
Every straight man, you would have to damn near.
Sorry, you can get out of the car. It might be too much.
You would have to damn near kill a real straight man to stop him from getting sexually stimulated. I mean, not hard off every woman he sees, but I mean the female's body. We can sit here and describe it right now, the three of us, and each one of us be like, ooh, shit, yeah, ooh, yeah. We love the female's body. There are men that does not find that body appealing at all.
You don't know that.
What the fuck you mean I don't know it? It's a fact.
It is not a fact. It is your theory. You don't know that.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about, we just watched, and I'm going to bring it full circle. We just watched two people who are married today. One of them said, I have had children and I want her to have the same experience that I had. So she chose to have penis at one point in her life because penis turned her on, and now she's choosing to do something different. So you don't know what it is. You don't know. We don't know.
I think you're dead wrong, but okay.
You can think all you want, nigga, but that don't make you right.
There are flamboyantly gay men that do not find the female's body appealing to him at all. They don't do it for him. That's a fact. Now, there may be some fags out there that go both ways. There may be some
you went too far. Too far.
God damn it.
We apologize because
I was talking too fast.
It's the Modelo. It's the Modelo. I get
it's the Modelo speaking.
There
may be some men out there, gay men out there that go both ways. Hell, there are some heterosexual men out there that go both ways, to be totally honest.
But what I'm trying to get you back to is what you said earlier, which is the science. Because you're saying scientifically, men are supposed to reproduce with women. That's what you said. That's how we started this conversation.
Scientific.
So if that is true, and the penis responds to women scientifically, then it is a choice not to. You have to choose not to.
So would your dick get hard off of a man?
No.
Okay.
But that's my point. Scientifically, it would not do that. But scientifically, that's my point. You're making my point for me.
So
scientifically, I respond because my natural response scientifically is to want to reproduce.
So what you're saying is homosexuality is a natural thing from birth. It's a scientific thing, is what you're saying. It's not a
no, that's what you're saying. You're twisting the whole thing around to something else. I didn't say none of that shit. What I said was, scientifically, you said initially that men are attracted to women to reproduce. The whole purpose is to reproduce. That's what you said.
I said heterosexual men are attracted to women.
No, it doesn't matter if you. So you're trying to say a gay man can't sleep with a woman and reproduce?
No, I'm saying there are flamboyantly gay men that do not find the woman's body.
That doesn't go. You're talking having two different conversations. What a flamboyant gay man is attracted to and what he physically can do are two different things. A gay man can sleep with a heterosexual or homosexual woman and reproduce a child.
Sure.
So, and guess what? The only way he can produce that child is if his dick is hard.
It's true.
So that's all we're saying. So to say that a gay man can't get hard over a woman, that's not true. Because the science says it's not true.
But Mr. Noise, one more again.
Oh my God!
I'm trying to bring this home for you.
Come on.
There are gay men, those real gay ones now. I'm talking about them ones that switch harder than Mama knows.
Oh my God!
That do not find the woman's body attractive. That's a fact.
Okay.
So to answer that question, so Lord, because the ones who are flamboyant, do we know scientifically, is it mental?
Thank you, Ron.
The reason why they don't like the female, or is it biological? The reason why they don't like the female.
That's all I'm saying.
Nobody.
Are they choosing it? So they psychologically blocked it out to where they won't respond that way? Or are they lying and they are responding that way, but they're choosing not to go that way?
Wait. One you said, are they choosing not to go that way? And then one you said, are they lying?
Because
that was a false argument.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. If you're having a natural biological response because you are a man and that is a woman, then that's just a natural biological response. And that doesn't. And again, I'm not saying that means that you're heterosexual, because to me, until you do the act, it's all in the air. I don't know. But my point is, based on what you're saying, if biologically we are designed to have children, that is what the penis is designed for, to create a semen, so that the semen impregnates the egg, so that a man and a woman get together and have a baby.
My sexual stimulation was because I was attracted to the female's body long before I got the female body.
Thank you, Stephon. I finally understood what I was saying, Stephon.
I didn't have to have sex to confirm heterosexuality.
But the point that you keep missing is that, like what Stephon said, man or woman stroking you is still getting you hard because it responds to physical touch.
Sure, that's plenty of people. That's plenty of people. Yeah, that's true. But there are
and the mind, right. To that same point, the mind, like Anthony Bruce is saying, can overpower the body.
Absolutely.
That's the point.
Absolutely.
And we're not in disagreement right now. We're in agreement.
Absolutely. But that's for the vast majority. There are men that do not find the woman's body appealing.
But the part that you refuse to acknowledge.
I didn't say he would never get hard. I say he doesn't find the woman's body appealing.
But the part that you refuse to acknowledge is the fact that if his penis got hard, that's not true.
Okay, whatever.
If he saw that woman and the natural response, biological response, was a hard penis, that's not him. That's not him not finding her attractive. That's him saying, I don't want that.
So when a man finds another man's booty hole biologically responsive to his hard on, what does that mean? Is that natural too? Since he biologically, he found that booty hole something he wanted.
Why is it so hard for you to grab hold of?
Biologically saying that's natural.
You know what the irony of the difficulty of this conversation is? You're the nigga that brought it up. You brought up science. Nobody else brought up science but you. So why are you now refusing science? And this is your argument. I'm arguing your argument.
And y'all arguing the exact same thing.
Thank you.
That's what he always says when Mr. Noise is determined to be right. I'm not
trying
to
be right. About being right.
I'm not trying to be right.
Y'all arguing the same.
That are not attracted to women. That's my point.
And we agree. And Lloyd's agreeing.
I'm not disagreeing with that. You are missing the point if you think I'm disagreeing with that. The point is, based on what you said, biologically, are those attractions of the mind, or are they natural attractions? That's what we're talking about. Is he naturally just born to attract to another species, which flies in the face of what you said earlier? That's what I was trying to make a point of. I don't know if people are truly being honest in this moment and they're telling you the honest truth.
I still don't get your point.
I know you don't. And maybe it's because you drank that Modelo or several of them.
Because with your statement that the flamboyant ones don't want females at all will make me think that is something that's done at birth, which again flies in the face of science.
I agree.
Which is the exact same thing. And Lloyd saying he doesn't understand or know if the flamboyant one is it at birth.
Truly being honest about what because they may be honest about the feeling of what they've created in their mind, because the mind is a powerful place and it does decide and can control in the whole nine.
So did the mind decide and control and choose for us? I mean, whatever.
Maybe, I don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out.
I'm gonna say the mind is doing a lot of your choosing.
It's a hard conversation because there's some realities and some honesties. If we and by the way, The truth is where we have to arrive at if we're ever going to get to any type of understanding. And that's where I think we're struggling, because we don't want to truly be honest about our journeys. How did we get here? Did we get here because I'm flamboyant and I was born that way, or did we get here because I was raised by all women and I arrived there?
Well, why am I straight?
Well, according to you, it's biology. I have a natural predisposition to vagina.
But I can't explain it beyond just saying it's biology. It's just because I'm supposed to merge with a woman. I can't explain it beyond that.
And therein lies our challenge.
What
because we can't explain it. And because we don't have full explanation or understanding, we don't have a morality that we're all willing to get on board with and say, this is the reason why. So we're in this conundrum of confusion.
Perfect answer. Science can explain reproduction, but it can't explain everything I believe.
I agree.
And that's exactly where. Thank you, Bub. Where were you at an hour ago? Because that's real. That's essentially what I'm trying to say. I don't know if we're able to be complete. And maybe honesty was the wrong choice of word. Maybe we don't have a clarity because we don't understand the connection of science, morality, and purpose. We don't understand that intersection. And because we don't understand that intersection, we can't come to a full, complete answer. Woo, this is a rough conversation.
Morality is very, very
subjective.
Yeah, it really is, because
it is.
Because what society considers moral or norm changes. It always has, and it always will. We go back and forth.
Yeah, because you think about a lot of stuff that we say are immoral here. Our third world countries still do it to this day.
I mean, the Bible people talk about Sodom and Gomorrah all the time, as if that was the only time or place that people did what they were doing.
Yeah.
There's always been sexual perversions.
Always. As long as there's been man on this world.
You got people in this world that are fuck the hell out of a billy goat.
On their farm to this day, Mama knows. Billy goat, sheep.
Tough conversation. We got more. Y'all know what this is. You know what? The noisemakers are awesome. And I'm so proud of the noisemakers because y'all are willing to ride in these conversations. Now we can just fill the room with people that can be open-minded. We can really get somewhere in society. This is tomorrow's conversation. And it's going to build from this one. Because there's some connectivity in this conversation that we gotta have.
Yeah, just don't bring in pumpkin chick on.
Oh man, we need some more women for the conversation, Mama Noy, by the way, if you can help us out with that. Also the 5, the game is going on as we speak. So we're gonna have a big discussion about that. Plus, the Hall of Fame went down this weekend. Boxing Hall of Fame, International Boxing Hall of Fame. Floyd Mayweather was put in, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., Layla Ali.
Why did it take so long for Roy to get in?
Well, one of the reasons why it took a while is because of COVID. Because he actually, I think, was inducted in 2020. I think there's a time period from when you actually finally quit to where you can start the clock. Like it's kind of like football. They can't start the clock until you finally say, "Okay, I'm done."
They got that 10-year rule type of.
Yeah, it's like a 10-year rule or whatever. But you got to stop. You got to stop boxing. And Roy wouldn't stop. so that's the problem. So
Roy had a lot of ass. He had to keep whooping, man. Shit.
Well, yeah, in his mind, but after a while, he was the one whose ass was getting whooped, and therein lies the problem. You got to knock it off. So anyway, but we'll get into that on Wednesday. But this is a good show. This is a really good show. It's a really good show.
Mom UK over.
She always gets quiet on us. We have to read her body language.
Well, I know what she's thinking. I know exactly what she's thinking.
I can't wait to turn the documentary on tonight.
Well, you the only one on here that knows it. I think the rest of us got to sit here and read body language.
We got to ask questions.
Yeah, y'all got to ask questions. I be knowing. I'm like, I know what she's thinking. Whoo. It was something else I was going to bring. Oh, real quick before we go, shout out to Jennifer Hudson.
What's the matter? You tired from all that arguing you was doing?
With you, yes. Shout out to Jennifer Hudson, who got the EGOT. That's the Emmy, the Grammy, the Oscar, and now the Tony. She won the Tony last night. I forgot I think the musical was called The Strange Loop or something like that. But she won the Tony last night, which makes her an EGOT winner. She's won an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony. Only 2 black women have ever done it. Anybody know who the second one is?
Angela Bassett.
Whoopi Goldberg. That is correct. That is correct. So
let me ask you this. Do you think Jennifer would have won her EGOT if she had stayed fat?
I did not see that coming. I gotta be honest with you.
I would have said my answer is yes, but how did Angela Bassett not get one? Actually, don't have all of them.
I don't know much Broadway work she's done.
I was gonna say she don't do much Broadway.
Yeah, I don't know how much Broadway work she's done. I think she's been primarily TV, film.
Yeah.
And for some reason she hadn't won an Oscar, which is unexplainable. The fact that she didn't win for What's Love Got to Do with It is stunning to me, but whatever. Back to Cuz's question. I'm stunned by the question. Why do you think her size has anything to do with it? You think she had to become societally acceptable to win these awards? Because she was a big girl in Dreamgirls.
Yeah,
she wasn't little.
Yeah, generally speaking, I believe that you're stereotyped into parts if you are a certain size. Jennifer became what could widely be seen as an attractive young lady.
She was still fine as a big girl.
But she wasn't to them. I'm saying to us, she was still masterfully lady. But she became more widely appealing to society after she lost the weight.
Talk to her ass up.
You think so?
I know so.
How do you know so?
Well, if you don't think that that's the case, then why has Precious not gotten any parts that were not stereotypical?
Touche. Woo. You went to the well for that one because I just made that point last week. I said she is Gabourey Sidibe is an outstanding actress. She is nothing like the character Precious in real life. Nothing. And she cannot get the roles that she wants.
How does two people played in that movie? One of them is still getting roles, but the other one ain't.
Yep.
One is toxic as hell, and the other one ain't.
And both were nominated for Oscars. One won, but the other one, So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's interesting.
Write that down, Mama Noise. He's not saying I'm wrong.
I'm not saying he's wrong. I won't say that. It's interesting. You listen. Because
can you give us some parting words or something?
Yeah, give some parting words, Mama Noise. Turn your TV down and give us some parting words.
She ain't going back and forth with you niggas.
Because she done start watching a documentary or some sort, I'm sure.
She watching the game. She is watching the game.
She's definitely not watching the game.
Who's playing?
See, there you go. She ain't watching no game. She ain't watching no game.
I tried.
Give us some parting words, Mama Noise.
I don't know if I can give any parting words. You done annihilated everything.
I haven't annihilated anything, my love. I've enjoyed everything you've said.
Just start out. Mama knows there's a poll.
I just want you to try to understand both sides. That's all I ask of you. We've had this conversation privately. Just try to understand. Don't draw your line so deep into the saying that you can't, you can feel. Listen, I have strong feelings on my side. But that doesn't help me in humanity to understand people.
Mama North, I disagree with him. You ain't got to go both ways.
I'm saying the same thing.
What the?
That ain't where he was going. That ain't where he was going.
Yeah, cuz it's being messy. Cuz it's being messy. This has been a great show. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. For those of you who watched it late, y'all come back and watch it tomorrow. We'll have it on tomorrow in the morning. You can watch the whole thing over and take notes or whatever. But these are the conversations that change the world. So, all right. Love each and every one of you. Thank you, noisemakers. Shout out to those who've been starring it up. Because you've been starring it up, man. We appreciate that.
Star it up.
You've been starring it up.
That's what I always do.
Come on, preacher. Come on, preacher.
Thank you, Stephon, for the 200 stars.
Why you gotta say it like that? Oh,
you know what? Stop trying to tell me how I should say it. I'll say something to thank you for. Why you gotta say it like that?
She gonna choke you in your sleep.
I don't want to be choked out, Mama. You're right.
You want me to say it like you did the welcome earlier? Come in, noisemakers, and all that old stuff. It looked like he was a psychopath. Just saying. Go back and watch it yourself.
You know what, Mama Noise? I'm not here for your face shaming. So I'm gonna part ways with you right now.
Who is that fake Facebook user?
That's
Talkin
NOIZ. Oh, okay.
She on to work late as usual.
Oh, okay, I can.
Look, other night she looked like them pumpkin seeds been working pretty well for her.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
She looked like damn shit hell.
I don't know if looking like damn shit hell is a good thing.
It doesn't feel like it is. It feels like that's not the look you should be going for. All of those looks sound really bad.
All those look bad as hell. Every one of them look bad as
I mean, you just gave her 3 cuss words. You said she looked like 3 cuss words rolled into one?
Oh my gosh.
Girl, you look like damn shit hell.
Hell.
Oh, thank you, noisemakers.
These.